That looks so pink.
Yeah, it does. Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Laura's Plain Old Life. Follow me on Instagram at Plain Old Laura. I just did my first Twitch stream. I streamed me doing Wordle. My best friend Teresa is right over here for moral support. I do have another podcast called Mindfully Climbing, which I do with my best friend, and it's more like health, wellness, lifestyle, relationship focus, but this is going to be everything. So, a little bit about me. Like I said, have another podcast. I am a mom. I am a military wife. Oops, sorry for that shaky screen. I have a daughter. That's what makes me a mom. Um, Teresa must be getting a phone call. So she left. Um, I just got this new mic stand. I used to use the Yeti Blue mic, but this mic came with my mic stand and it's a lot smaller and I like it. But I feel like the Yeti Blue has a lot more what is it called? Like settings that you can change and stuff, like the gain and the like I can change it from cardioid to like subcardioid and stereo and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm getting kind of off topic. I was very nervous to do my first Twitch stream, but it literally took me like 3 seconds and I got the Wordle on like the third try. So I fucking blew that shit out of the water. Anyways, um, what else about me? Oh, I grew up in Minnesota. I moved from Minnesota to South Carolina in 2019, and then I moved from South Carolina back to Minnesota in the very end of 2020. And I lived in Minnesota until the end of, well, I guess like end of summer 2021. And then I moved to Washington State. And in between like South Carolina, Minnesota, Washington, I was also in San Diego for like about 2 months before my husband went on his first deployment. So now I'm in Washington, bought a house, love being a homeowner. And yeah, I guess basically I'm going to talk about um my life, some stories. But today, the first thing that I wanted to talk about is actually, I don't know. Sorry for my cat meowing, by the way. Usually I have the door closed in here, but apparently not right now. I'm actually not sure what the first thing I want to talk about is. Let's see here. Um, so you know what? A little bit more about me. I coach gymnastics. I coach an XL silver team. If you know what that means, awesome. If you don't, honestly, doesn't really matter. I coach a gymnastics team. They're good for their level, so it's fun. I started coaching gymnastics in 2017 when I lived in Minnesota, and I coached until I moved to South Carolina. And I coached for a little bit in South Carolina, but I absolutely hated the gym I worked at. So I quit after being there for a couple of months. And then I had a baby. So I didn't really work and I just like stayed at home. And now I'm working again. And my best friend Teresa, she babysits Hazel, my daughter, when I'm working. I don't know why I said when so weirdly. Um, you guys want to hear a crazy story? So when I first moved here, I had been living here. I have two dogs, by the way, and a cat. And my dogs, I have a husky and then like a Belgian Malinois mix. So they're like not small dogs, but they're also not like huge. Um, anyways, they are like what, like 3 and 5, 4 and 5 years old. Um, anyways, so when I first moved here, we like moved into our house. We ended up buying a house that didn't have a fully fenced in yard. Like it's fenced in the back, but the front isn't. Um, and I think the fence is like actually it's our neighbor's fences, but it just so happened to like partially fence in our yard, which is great. Um, but yeah, so my next door neighbors, if you're looking at the street, they're on the right of me. They had a chicken. Do you see where I'm going with the story? I said they had a chicken. So they had a chicken, and I had seen it like in the yard. a couple of times, so I would like avoid letting my dogs out because they've never been around a chicken, so they don't know how to act around a chicken, um aka not killing it. And we have a cat, but that's like different. The cat can like fend for himself, chicken not so much. um but yeah, so I avoided letting my dogs out when I would see this chicken because sometimes it would be in our yard, like kind of in the back side. um and one day I let them out and I didn't check for the chicken. I didn't see the chicken. And then all of a sudden, I hear a bunch of squawking, and I look around the corner, and there's my dog, my husky, with the chicken in his mouth. And I was like, oh, actually, I saw him run towards the chicken. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm screaming, trying to put my shoes on so I can run outside. I'm like, no, no, don't, let go of the like, don't. I didn't say don't let go of the chicken. I was like, don't do that. Let go of the chicken, like whatever. But he's a dog in prey mode. Like he's not gonna understand what I'm saying. So I I'm like screaming at him, and I like just moved in. Like I'd been there for a couple of weeks max. And it's like hot, it's summer outside, and I was like, fuck, like what am I gonna do? So I bring my dogs inside, lock them up. I like don't want my neighbors to like come to my house. So I like close all my blinds and stuff. Did Justin call you?
No, the PT place called me.
Oh, okay.
I haven't called them to set my appointments.
Oh, shit. I'm telling my first chicken story. So if you think about that, there's a second chicken story, which I'll probably talk about on a different episode. Anyways, so nice. So I like closed blinds and I called Teresa because she's like one of the only people that I know here because they ended up getting
chicken. I thought you were talking
yes.
about like when you first ever got a chicken, like in your life. I was like, so interesting.
No. So I called Teresa and I'm like, yo, what the fuck do I do? Like, do I just throw the chicken in my trash and like don't tell them? Or do I like go over there and be like, hey, sorry, my dog, like introduce myself, be like, hey, sorry, my dog like killed your chicken, just want to let you know. And when I had brought my dogs back inside, the chicken was like still walking around, and then eventually it like lay down, but it was like still breathing, so I was like, maybe it's gonna live. Anyways, um yeah, so I had Teresa come over because she was like, I'll go over there with you, and I had my daughter, and at this time she was like, she wasn't even a year old, she was still little. Yeah. So we go, like Teresa gets over. At this point, the chicken is dead. Um, we go over there and I like knock on the door. Yes, yes. Right. So I go over there and I knock on the door, and this guy answers the door, an old guy. And I was like, hey, we just moved in next door. My name is Laura. This is my friend Teresa, my daughter Hazel, and I just want to let you know that like I'm really sorry, but like I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom this morning, and one of them got a hold of your chicken in my yard, and it's still in my yard now. I'm pretty sure it's dead, and I'm really sorry about it. And he's like, oh my god. And at first I think he's just gonna be like upset about it because it's a chicken and a dog, like it's a very natural instinct for them to like go after it, same as a squirrel to them,
especially if it's in like their yard.
Yeah, it was in their yard, in my yard, the dog's yard. So I'm like, okay, thinking in my head, maybe this is gonna be all right. And then he's like, what the fuck? That was my son gave me that chicken. I had this chicken for 3 years. Slams the door in my face. And I was like, do I walk away? Do I like try to talk to him again? I'm like, oh shit. Okay. So we walk away, and I'm like, okay, I need to go to the store, but I like don't want to leave my house because like I don't want them to like come over and then like get mad, whatever. I don't know these people. So we're like getting in Teresa has to move her car because she had parked behind me in the driveway. And I'm like getting Hazel in the car. I'm sitting in the car waiting for Teresa. And then all of a sudden I hear screaming. This guy and his wife come over and they're literally yelling at Teresa.
Yeah, they're yelling at me like it's my fault.
Yeah. And they're like you I'm gonna call animal control, like your fucking dogs are so fucking stupid. Like
and I'm just like apologizing because
yes, obviously. And I'm like, I felt bad because it wasn't even like Teresa's fault. Not that it was my fault, but like it's not her house, not her dogs, like all of that. And so I'm like, and then like they come in and they get their chicken and like they come into my yard and get their chicken, and then we just like drive away. And I was like, it was a lot. And then I was like so nervous to let my dogs out after that. And then it had been like 2 days or something. And I go to let my dogs outside and I put their shot collars on them so that like in case like anything else happens, like if they have more chickens, like and their chickens in my yard, I don't know. I'm just like paranoid. Yeah, paranoid.
Well, because he also threatened me.
Yeah.
He was all like, because I was saying sorry, and he was all like, "Yeah, you're gonna be sorry."
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, he was like, "You're gonna be sorry." Like, so we were like, we don't know if they're gonna like put something in our yard to like poison the dogs, whatever. So we're like constantly like watching our yard and like anyway, so I go to let my dogs out and then I literally see the lady, this guy's wife, looking at me. They have like these really tall like tree bush things on the other side of their fence, and I literally see her like looking at me through the fence. And I don't say anything. I just like call my dogs back inside and like go inside. And I think I was home alone at this point. So I like called you and I was like, bro, I just saw her fucking looking at me. And then like a couple more days go by and I let my dogs out again. And my husband is sitting on the couch this time. And I see her looking at me again through the fucking bushes. And at this point, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is like kind of an invasion of privacy. Like, I know you're in your own yard, but you're like watching me take my dogs out. Like, what the fuck did I do? And I'm like, can I help you? And then she like just walks away. Like I didn't fucking see her, you know? And then, you know, a week and a half or something like that goes by. And my dog, the one who killed the chicken, he is taking a shit like dogs do in his own yard. And my neighbor starts throwing fucking apples at him and yelling, like, get the fucking dog out of here. Like, your dog needs to be in a cage. He needs to be on a leash every time he's outside. And I was like, actually, no, if he's in my yard, he actually doesn't need to be on a leash. But thank you for your fucking concern. I was like,
plus your yard is like fenced, so
that's what I'm saying. Like it's mostly fenced. And also like my dogs are really good. Like they won't run off. Like I know them. Like we had them trained, like all whatever. And I was like, no fucking way. There's like a 70-year-old man throwing apples at my dog because my dog killed a chicken that was in his own goddamn yard. Like it's just so fucking stupid, you know? And anyways, weeks go by and I go outside one time and they're putting up this like fake vine stuff like over their fence because it was just like a chain link fence. They're putting it up like over their fence so that like we can't see in their yard or something, or maybe there was a hole and like that's how the chicken got out. But yeah, so that was a fucking trip. And haven't talked to them since that. And this was like fucking August, right? And it's March now, so it was a long ass time ago. And then here's my second chicken story. So fucking what was it? It had to be like January.
I don't know, but also like just to clarify, like both you and Derek,
oh
yes,
both
went over there and apologized.
Yeah,
and like he was fine with it, but his wife was still upset. So it's not like you guys were like, "Well, fuck you, your chicken was in our yard," like not our problem. Like you guys felt bad and you went and apologized.
Right.
Like, which is understandable for them to be upset, but like it's a chicken. And
exactly.
Like, you guys felt bad and you like took responsibility and went over.
Well, exactly. Yeah, my husband had gone over there and apologized like when he got home from work, just saying that he was sorry. And the guy was like, honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But then I saw his wife fucking looking at me and shit, and then like putting up this like green stuff over their fence.
Yeah, I just wanted to Make sure that
I forgot
you're
about that. I forgot about that.
so you don't look like shitty ass person.
Yeah. So, and then this happened a couple months ago, maybe like a month and a half, something like that. So my neighbors across the street from me also happen to have chickens. And like I can see like from my driveway, I can see down their driveway and into their like chicken coop. And sometimes I hear their chickens, whatever. I've never seen their chickens out though. My other neighbors, I had seen their chicken be in my yard before. So I would like occasionally check to make sure. But now that chicken's dead, so I don't have to check. And anyways, I go to let my dogs out, right? It's a little rainy. I let them out, and all of a sudden on the other side of the deck where I can't see, I hear some squawking, and then I see a chicken run past and my other dog run up the deck and come inside. And I was like, no fucking way right now. And I thought maybe my next door neighbors had gotten another chicken and it somehow had gotten in my yard again. And so I was like, I know they were already pissed about the last one, even though it happened months ago. And I don't want them to get fucking pissed again. I was like, you know what? As of right now, I saw the chicken run past. It's still alive. I don't know where the fuck it is. I'm not gonna go out and look. I closed all my fucking blinds. And at this, it's like 1 p.m. or something, which is my daughter's nap time. So I go and I'm like trying to put her to bed, and all of a sudden I hear screaming, a man and a woman screaming, something about a dog, something about a chicken. Obviously, I already know what's going on. And I thought that it was, my next door neighbors, which we had already had a chicken and dog incident in my yard. And then I hear banging on my door. Was it Justin? Oh,
No, I guess I'm just popular today.
damn. And I hear banging on my door, like literal, like as if you were trying to like bust a door down. That's literally what it sounded like. And we have sliding glass doors in the back. I also heard it back there. My dogs are going fucking crazy, like barking up a storm. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to answer it. I don't know who's going to be at the fucking door banging like that. I'm home alone by myself with my daughter. Like, that's not a safe situation. And they're banging like 6 or 7 times on either door. Like, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Hazel's screaming and like, upset. And I'm literally hiding in my bathroom. And my husband was at work, so I couldn't call him. I called Teresa and I called my mom and told them the whole situation. They were like, damn, like that's fucked. Teresa comes and she like drives past my house to like see if anybody's there. She's like, nope, nobody's there. And I think you ended up going home, or you had something to do.
No, you just wanted me to drive by, and then when I drove by and then went up the street and came back, and Derek had pulled in.
Oh yeah, so Derek,
So
my
I
husband.
just went home.
Yeah, so Derek, my husband, had pulled in, and I had called him when he was on his way home from work and told him what happened in case somebody came out and like yelled at him as soon as he got home, which is exactly what happened. He gets out of his car. This man immediately comes over and starts screaming at him. And at this point, Derek's just like, get off my property. Like, I don't want you here. Like, you're coming at me, yelling at me, like literally in my own home. Like,
he has no idea what's going on.
And and Derek like wasn't there, didn't see it or whatever. And I swore on my life that Nimbus did not leave the yard. My dog who killed the chicken. I swore on my life he did not leave my yard. And then Derek comes in and tells me like what this guy was saying. He was saying that 2 mail carriers had seen Nimbus run across the street, jack a chicken, and come back into our yard. And I was like, first of all, 2 mail carriers, like what the fuck? Second of all, I was like,
you were outside.
Yeah, I was like, no way he had time to run across the yard and come back into my yard before I fucking saw him or knew anything. Like, there's no way. Also, he doesn't leave the yard. Anyways, so we were like, what the fuck, whatever. And like Derek comes back inside and we're like, okay, well, the chicken's not in our yard anymore. They must have gotten the chicken. Kind of fucked up that they were like banging on the door and shit, but like we did nothing wrong. Like, we're not gonna do anything. A couple days later, maybe next day or 2 days later, the guy comes over, and it's actually our neighbor across the street, chicken. And he comes over and he's like, hey, I just wanted to apologize. We ended up finding some like camera footage of the chicken actually going across the street into your like driveway yard area, because our driveway like goes into our yard. And I was like, see, I fucking knew it. They were making me feel like I was fucking crazy, because they were saying that somebody had seen Nimbus run across the yard. or run across the street. So yeah, he apologized, which was very nice, and he apologized for also scaring me by banging on the door. And his wife still never came and apologized. That's okay though. I don't really care. The guy's nice. So yep, those are my chicken stories.
Your neighbors and
Which
your
one?
crazy neighbors. The like chicken story and crazy neighbors.
Oh,
story.
yeah. So probably there's definitely more neighbor stories to come. I got one more. Yeah, I'm not really gonna say nothing now, but yeah, thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast. This is Teresa. Nah, you good. You can follow me on Instagram at plain old Laura. Follow my TikTok, plain old Laura _ Listen to my other podcast, Mindfully Climbing. And thank you guys so much for being here, listening to my first podcast. And that's all. Bye.
Deuces.